Hey guys, good evening. I hope I'm audible to you. Just do let me know if I'm audible in the chat, guys. Hello, Utpal. Good evening. I'm good. How are you? Great. So looks like I'm pretty much audible. So that's really good. Great. So cool, guys. We were discussing a lot of things about data types. We were discussing about the introduction. So we were discussing about the numeric, we discussed about sequential, we also talked about Boolean, set, and we started with dictionary, but we did not complete that. So in this lecture, we will be talking about dictionaries in detail. So from the data types part, so we will take it that. So that is something which I believe was pending in our last discussion. So we'll do that. Anyway, guys, if anybody is having any concerns, anything, I'm always available. So I'm monitoring the chat, so we can always talk. Okay. So do try to put up your questions in the chat, and I'll try to take that. Cool. So before starting with, let's have a quick round of introduction. So as you know, my name is Arpit Jan, and I'm a lead data scientist myself. I have been working into industry for almost 9 years now, and into multiple domains, considering the finance sector, automobile manufacturing, cloud, telecom. So I've been into multiple industries. So any questions regarding any particular domain or anything which you want to talk about, uh, your career, job as well. So do let me know. So along with that, I'm also a motivational speaker. So I take up industry sessions. So I talk to students regarding their job, career. So any concerns, anything regarding your job as well. So do try to put up in the chat, guys. Okay. So we'll try to take that. Should not be a problem. Hey Ali, good evening. Thank you for joining in. Great. So as I was talking about, so we will be discussing about dictionaries in this session. But again, I'm more than happy to take up the questions if there is any from the previous lecture of whatever we have discussed so far. Okay. So I won't be giving you a recap in this. I'll try to cover dictionary first. Okay, and then if time permits, we'll just close the data types part today. Okay. Cool. Again, as I was saying, so I'm monitoring my chat. Any questions, all welcome. So do put up in the question in the chat. It's a pretty much live session, guys. Okay. Cool. So I'm just bringing uh, the thing on the slide. Just a minute, guys. Yeah, I hope my screen should be visible to you now. Okay. So we were talking about dictionaries, right? So what is a dictionary? So as I was saying, dictionary is again another data type available in Python, which is most profoundly used, and where we have the basic concept here is key and the value pairs, right? So how key and the values are defined, and what are these key and the values, and how do we create them, how do we access them. So all of these things we'll be covering it today. Okay, and I'll show it to you how we can actually create dictionary in multiple ways. So we can also create dictionaries in multiple ways. I'll show you that. Okay. So what is dictionary, guys? Dictionary is an unordered collection of data values. Okay, remember, it's an unordered collection of data values. It is used to store data values like a map and holds key value pair. Okay, it's more sort of a map for me. So map as in I'm saying that the key and the value pair, right? So I have one key, and for each key there is a value assigned to that. Okay, so that is something which is dictionary, and I'll show it to you. What do I mean by that key and the value? Okay. So here also key and values provided in the dictionary to make it more optimized. So we can actually optimize the things by defining the key and the value specifically there. And also here, you know that, so each key and the value pair in the dictionary is separated by a colon. Okay. So the key and the value pair within, so one pair will be separated by a colon, whereas multiple such keys will be separated by commas. Okay. So what do I mean by that? I'll tell you that. So in short, dictionaries are defined by the curly braces, a colon, which is like double dots. It is used to separate each key in the value pair. Okay. So what do I mean by this, guy? So what I mean here is, like for example, I want to define the dictionary. So I'll be doing like this. So I'll be having like this as a dictionary. So this is my curly braces. So this is for my dictionaries. And within this curly braces, I'll be having my key and the value pair. So what do I mean by this? I'll be saying key colon value. Okay. So this is what my dictionary says. So I have, this is my dictionary format. So I have a key here and I have a value here. So each key and the value is separated by a colon. So can you see this colon? This is, I think this is pretty much visible to you, right? So this is my colon where I'll be saying the key and the value pair is being defined, segregated. Okay. Now, one dictionary, as it says, can have multiple such key and the value pairs, right? So what I'm supposed to do in that case? It's pretty simple again. So I'll be saying, say this is my key 1 and the value 1. Now, for multiple such key and the values, I can separate it by using this comma, okay? So this comma says that anything preceding this gonna be my one pair of my key value such, okay? Now post that it'll be like second pair of key and the value, right? So now here, as you can see, now if I have this key 1 and the value 1 as my pair 1, I can still define this key, instead of this, I'll be saying key 2 and value 2. Okay, so this will be my key 2 and the value 2. Again, remember guys, so everything is still pretty much falling within my, I would say, key and the value pair. Okay, so likewise, I can have key 3 and value 3 is still okay. Okay, I can have this, and likewise there is no limit, so I can have as many key and the value pairs. Okay, so this is in short what I was meaning by these sentences. Okay, so this is how my key and the values are generally defined. Okay, so curly braces, colon separator between key and the value, and I can have multiple such key and the value pairs where each key value pair can be segregated by a comma. Okay, cool, simple hai. Now, when I say that these are my key and the value pairs, there are multiple such ways. So this is one odd way, very standard way of creating the dictionaries. Okay, the same dictionary can actually be created in multiple ways. I'll show you that how you can create the same dictionary in multiple ways, and we'll see how we take up what is the differences and all that. We'll see that. Okay. So as I was explaining, this is my very standard way of defining my any dictionary, very standard way. Now, what I'll do is I'll start with creating an empty dictionary. Okay, so what do I mean by empty dictionary? So empty dictionary means I do not have anything, but still if I check the type of that variable, I'll be seeing dict. So dict is my actual class of my variable if I use dictionary as the initiator here, right? So what you can see here, I am using a curly braces. Curly braces is defining the dictionary, right? So dictionary for me, this is what the curly braces is defining, right? So it's pretty much simple. So now what I've done is I'm using this curly braces, and this inside this curly braces, I'm not putting anything. So there is no key value pair. It's going to be an empty one. So if I run this, so what I'm saying, this is an empty dictionary with nothing inside, right? And if I check print type of my this variable dict, but I'll be seeing class as dict. So this is where I'll be saying it's a dictionary class. Okay. So now till now what all classes we have seen, guys? We have seen int, we have seen float, we have seen complex, we have seen string str, we have also seen list, we have seen tuples. So all of these are different data types, guys. Okay, so the reason it is important is because it's a very core basic of your Python. That is the reason why you are still discussing that, and becomes important to understand those. Okay, so this is where I'll be saying the class of my dictionary being defined. Okay, so now let's try to add the data here. So we'll be using the standard way of writing the data. So first to initialize my data. Cool. So now let's look at this example. Just a minute. So I'll be leaving others behind. So now look at this example, guys. Okay. So here can you see I have written 3 different key and the value pairs. Okay. So now can you see, as you remember, I was saying key then value, not value then key. So the first value, the element behind your colon is your key. Okay. And the element after your colon is your value. Always remember the order, guys. Okay, order is very important here. So as I was saying, so can you see this? So what I'm saying here, so that my key and the value pair is defined. So I have 3 key and the value pairs here, right? So can you see this? So this is going to be my 1 pair, and this is going to be my 2nd pair, and this is going to be my 3rd pair, right? So I have 3 key and the value pairs here. So here I'm saying that my first key and the value pair is 1 and geeks. Okay, so here my key is 1 and my value is geeks, right? Likewise, this here I have 2 as my 2nd key and 4 as my second value. Likewise, 3 is my third key, and geeks, another geeks is my third value. Clear, guys? If I just run it, simple enough. So I have just added the same way. So can you see this? So key and the value, key and the value, key and the value. So different keys and different values. I mean, still different keys can have same values. There's no problem in that, right? So there's no problem in that. So it can have. So now can you see in this, when I'm going to print this dictionary, you have 3 different keys. So this is how it is getting printed, right? So I have curly braces to enclose with, and then I have 3 keys. 1 is referring to geeks, 2 is referring to for, and 3 is referring to geeks. Okay, clear? Any questions here, guys? Any questions? If there is anything which you want me to clear, please let me know that. Okay, cool. So I'm proceeding with another little interesting example here. So here I'm creating a dictionary which is more of I would say mixed keys. Okay, so mixed keys. So in this mixed keys, I'm saying that where my keys are 2 things. So the first key is a string and the second key is a number. Okay, so here what I'm saying is I'm creating a mixed dictionary where the first key is a string and a second key is a number. Okay, so here did you notice all of my keys are actually integers, right? So first the key is 1, second key is 2, third key is again an integer which is 3, right? But on the contrary, I can still have anything. Okay, so I can still write my name here. So I can write maybe Arpit as one of the key. It's pretty much fine. Okay, so this is not a mandatory requirement. So I can create a dictionary with mixed keys as well. So maybe I can have a string and then I can have a number both. Okay, so now here can you see this? I'm defining the first key as name, which is a string, and the second as an integer. Okay, and also interestingly, if you can see, the first key which is name, a string, the value is also a string, that's fine. But here second, which is the second pair is 1, the value is a list. Can you see this, guys? Right? So the second value here is a list. So I can have such complex dictionaries also defined. So list also is a very much mutable data type. And it also has the property to, I mean, it's more like a list basically. So where I can have multiple such data types to be available. So here the values could be a list, can be a tuple, can even be a sub dictionary. It's totally fine in that. So there's no problem, right? So I can keep it again nested as many levels as I can. Okay, there's no problem in that. So I can have a dictionaries naming as my strings, and then I can have it with numbers as well. Okay, clear? Any questions, guys? Just do put up in the chat. So I'll take that. Okay, plain simple. So I'll show it to you one more interesting thing. I'll also show it to you how exactly then. So suppose now this dictionary is defined, right? So how are we going to access this? I'll show it to you subsequently in the respective discussion. Okay. So there is another very interesting way of defining the dictionaries. Okay. So here earlier what we were doing, so we were using the curly braces. So we were using the set this like curly braces, and the curly braces we were defining key and value, right? So it's more like that sort, and then I have multiple of such things, right? So it's like curly braces, key value pair, correct? Now I can also have dictionary defined in this way. So I can have a list. Okay, so I can use the actually an inbuilt keyword dict. So dict is also, instead of using curly braces as an identifier, I can use the inbuilt keyword dict. So to define a dictionary, I have an inbuilt keyword also dict, which can be used. Okay, and inside this this dictionary, I can actually pass. So dictionary is a function. So definitely there will be a parenthesis post that, right? It's a function. So now in this parenthesis, I can actually pass list of key value pairs. Okay. And again, there are multiple ways in which I can pass this list of key value pairs. There are multiple ways. I'll show it to you. What are such ways? So the first way is I'm defining it using a bracket. So for example, here what I can say is list of key value pairs. So I can have list of such key value pairs. So in this list, I can have one parenthesis saying key 1, value 1, okay, separated by not a colon but a comma. Remember this, guys. So not a colon but a comma, okay. So I can also have list of dictionaries defined with the separator of a comma. So first will be key value pair where the separator is comma. Again, I can have another key value pairs. Again, this is separated by comma again. So same thing. So under parenthesis, I can still define this where the value will be key 2, value 2. Likewise, I can just keep on going. Okay? Make sense? Yes, yes, Utpal. Very good. Very good. Yes. So 1 and then the value. Yes, exactly. We can have that. That's correct. Okay. So again, but that was the first way we saw. But again, this is the second way of creating it. Okay. So by using the inbuilt keyword DICT. So by using the inbuilt keyword DICT, we can also create the dictionary. And here, again, as I said, so here it will be passing the list of such key value pairs when I use the DICT keyword. Okay. So the list of such key value pairs, again, there are multiple ways in which I can pass the same key value pairs. Okay, so the very first way in which I can pass the list of key value pairs is like this. Okay, so I'm using a comma separator, and each of these key value pair is encoded in a parenthesis. Okay, so here, did you remember? I'm not giving any parenthesis, right? So here I'm not giving any parenthesis. It's like same simple examples. I mean, plain definition of my key value pair, right? So I just started with the curly braces, and I started writing key in the value, key value, key value, key colon value, comma, right? So I'm writing like this. But if I use an inbuilt keyword DICT, which is again a possibility, we can do that. Here I have to pass the list of such key value pairs. And in this list, the first definition is by using again a key value pair separated by a comma within an enclosed parenthesis. Okay. So now suppose using the same example, okay, guys. So use this once. Okay. Now suppose if I have to, this is my dictionary defined earlier, right? And if I see DICT here, this is what I'm seeing. Now, if I have to write the same dictionary in the other format which I was talking about, how can I do that? So can I do it like this? So DICT will become here. I'll use the inbuilt keyword DICT where I'll be passing the list of key value pairs under the parenthesis. So I have 3 such pairs, right? So I'll be giving 3 such parentheses. Okay. That is fine. And under these parentheses, I'll be defining my key value pair. So like this. So I'll be putting it under this. But here, instead of colon, I have to again define comma. Cool? Okay? So again, I'll be doing it like this. So I'm defining a comma here. And then again, I'll be doing it like this. I'll be going here. And then I'll be giving a comma here. Okay? This is exactly the same thing, guys. Just let me print this also. Can you see this? This is exactly the same, right? Exactly the same. So as I was saying, this is another way of defining the dictionaries. Okay. So now take one more example, which I've just prepared for you. So for example, I'm creating a student dictionary. So where I have 4 different parameters. I'm defining a name. I'm defining the ID. I'm defining the age, and then I'm defining the education. Okay, so I have the name as Arpit, ID is 21, age is 30, education in MS. So now if I just print student, so I'll be getting a dictionary like this, pretty plain simple. Cool? Guys, any questions, anything, please do let me know. ठीक है, ये आपका फर्स्ट वे हो गया. अनदर, चलो अब ये जैसे मैंने बताया आपको, so for if I'm using this DICT as a keyword, right? So basically in this I have to pass list of key value pairs. ठीक है? So in this, so basically the list of the key value pairs can be passed in multiple ways. So first हमने क्या देखा? So हमारा first example क्या है? So इसमें से first way जो हमने देखा वो देखा DICT. That in the list of such dictionary, I'll be seeing the parenthesis का format. So parenthesis के अंदर भी comma है, then I have a comma here, then I have another parenthesis for key value pair, and likewise it can just keep on going. So this is the first example we have seen. इसका एक और तरीका है, there's one more way जहाँ पे हम define कर सकते हैं equal to से, okay? And इस केस में parenthesis की जरूरत नहीं है. अब क्या होता है ये? सो सेकेंड वे क्या है मैं वो बताता हूं आपको. सो सेकेंड वे जो है इसका वो है DICT. Okay, and in this way I have to define the list of my key value pair. So here the list is these four values. Here I have to, what I have to define, I'll just go here. Just a minute, something went wrong. Yeah, so here in this I have to define my key 1 equal to value 1. Then again by comma, here I'll be giving key 2 equal to value 2, like this. Just keep on going. ठीक है. अच्छा, फर्स्ट वाले में स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट्स का काम है बिकॉज वो लिस्ट ऑफ, ये लिस्ट की तरह हम रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं उसको. ठीक है, सो की वैल्यू स्पेस में वो लिस्ट की तरह रिप्रेजेंट हो रहा है. बट इस सेकंड वाले में ये लिस्ट की तरह रिप्रेजेंट नहीं हो रहा है, ये की वैल्यू इंडेक्सेस की तरह रिप्रेजेंट हो रहा है. इसमें मल्टीपल सच पेयर्स जाएंगे तो वो आपके इंडेक्सेस की तरह रिप्रेजेंट हो रहा है. सो डिफरेंट डिफरेंट तरीका है. ओके, सो डिफरेंट डिफरेंट तरीका है. सो की वैल्यू रिप्रेजेंट पेयर को रिप्रेजेंट करने का. ठीक है, ये फर्स्ट था जिसमें मैं डिक्शनरी कीवर्ड यूज करके इसमें लिस्ट की तरह पास किए. सेकंड तरीका क्या है, इसमें की वैल्यू पेयर को इंडेक्सेस की तरह हमने पास किया, मतलब उसके एक सॉर्ट ऑफ पेयर्स हैं. ठीक है, ये भी एक तरीका है. इसमें आपने कॉमा यूज किया था, इसमें इक्वल टू यूज करेंगे. ठीक है, ये भी एक तरीका है. तो सेम अगर मैं ये सेम को बनाना चाहूं इस तरीके से तो ये भी पॉसिबल है. मैं क्या करूंगा इस केस में, मैं लिस्ट हटाऊंगा, लिस्ट की जरूरत नहीं है यहाँ पे. तो ये मेरा फर्स्ट इंडेक्स बन गया, पैरेंथेसिस भी हट जाएगा यहाँ से, और इसके जगह पे मैं कॉमा की जगह पे मैं इक्वल टू डाल दूंगा. ठीक है, सेम यहाँ पे मैं पास करूंगा, पैरेंथेसिस हट जाएगा, आई पास द इक्वल टू हियर, लाइकवाइज हियर, कॉमा की जगह पे इक्वल टू आ जाएगा, कॉमा की जगह पे इक्वल टू आ जाएगा. एंड देन आई हैव व्हाट, सो आई हैव दिस इज गॉन. सो नाउ क्या कर दिया मैंने, did I miss anything guys? अच्छा, sorry ma'am. Okay, key में you are not passing the, so this should not be like this, right? So my bad. So this should be this. So here key should be an identifier, right? So key should be an identifier. So key should not be named under the quotes. That's again one thing which you have to take care of. So same thing which is represented in two different ways. Okay, again why I'm defining this, you have to understand that there are multiple ways of writing the same thing in Python. Okay, so again the core logic remains the same. It's not like there is something happening here. So it's not like if you write it like this it becomes a different dictionary. It's not like that. Still the class remains the same, the value remains the same, but eventually we have to figure out that which way is more logical and which ways you can relate to the concept. It's like more of that sort. ठीक है, कूल है, ये भी हम कर सकते हैं. अगेन अब अगर इसमें से इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग क्या है कि चलो आई टॉक अबाउट दिस पार्ट लेटर, अभी मैं इस पे नहीं जाऊंगा. आई विल गो टू द एक्सेसिंग पार्ट इन सम अदर वे. ठीक है, चलो अब हमने क्या देखा था. अच्छा, एक और ये लास्ट तरीका है. सो अगेन यहाँ पे हमने जैसे इक्वल टू यूज किया, इक्वल टू यूज करने के बजाय हम कोलन भी यूज कर सकते हैं, बट उस केस में क्या करना पड़ेगा, हमें वापस से कर्ली ब्रेसेस भी डिफाइन करनी पड़ेगी. ओके, सो अब जैसे एक और इसका भी एक थर्ड वे बता देता हूँ. सो इन दिस थर्ड वे भी है मेरे पास, एक थर्ड वे भी है. उसमें क्या है, इंस्टेड ऑफ लिस्ट ना पास करके इसमें डिक्शनरी के अंदर हम डिक्शनरी पास करेंगे. सो वो है DICT. यहाँ पे मैं कर्ली ब्रेसेस पास करूंगा, एंड इस कर्ली ब्रेसेस में आई विल बी गिविंग की 1, इसमें बोलूंगा कोलन वैल्यू 1, एंड देन यहाँ पे बोलूंगा की 2 कोलन वैल्यू 2. ठीक है, लाइकवाइज करके चलता चला जाएगा. इसमें भी ये कोई बहुत फैंसी नहीं है, बिकॉज एनीवे मैं सिर्फ इससे भी डिफाइन कर सकता था, तो कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि मैं DICT लिखूं ही लिखूं. ओके, सो ये अगेन जस्ट लाइक एन एडिशनल है, बट अगेन ये भी काम करता है, but more of a redundant way. Okay, so somebody can ask you this question. So ये DICT कीवर्ड यूज करके तीनों तरीके से हम डिक्शनरी बना सकते हैं. सेम चीज को मैं तीन तरीके से लिख सकता हूँ. Okay, so that is the reason why I was showing you that. ठीक है, ये सेम इस एग्जांपल में बेसिकली मैंने वही करा हुआ है, आपको दिखेगा. सो मैंने DICT कीवर्ड भी यूज किया, and post that I was using the curly braces as well. So in this curly braces I have the key value pairs. So the the second and the third key value pair, and each of these is again further separated by a colon. Okay, so basically colon ka separator bhi hai, and then I have the commas to define my key value such, so different such key value pairs, but eventually I'm using a DICT as a keyword also. ठीक है, ये भी plain simple, इसमें कुछ fancy नहीं है. चलो अब एक काम करते हैं, let's take this dictionary as my bad as an example and let's try to solve few more things on top of this. ठीक है, चलो अभी मैं अगर ये बोलूँ कि मेरे पास ये एक डिक्शनरी है स्टूडेंट, अगर मैं स्टूडेंट को प्रिंट करूँगा, so I'll have these three individual these individual elements of my student, so key value pairs available है, right? Now what if I want to see what is the age of this student? So this is basically the different information of a single student, right? So this is Arpit, the name of the student is Arpit, ID is 21, age is 30, education is MS. So it's like an information of a single student for me here, right? And what if I want to see what is the age of that student? How can I find out what is the age? So to access age, to see what is the age of my student, I have to give the key for that. Okay, so what is the key here? Key is age. Age is the key here, right? And again, the logic still remains the same, guys. If I have to access something, I have to still use the square brackets. Square brackets are the only way in which you are defining the way you want to access this. Okay, so for example, now I'll write student. So name of my dictionary student, and in this I want to access the age, right? So I can, how can I do that? Square brackets, still AGE. So I have to write the key here. So I have to specify to get the value, I have to write the key here to access it. Okay, if I do it, I'll get 30. So the age parameter, the age key of my dictionary student, the value is 30. This is what it is printing here. Clear? Now, can somebody tell me what will happen if I give this? So I want to know what is the occupation of my student. Can somebody tell me what will be the output here? Quickly, guys. Hey Nikhil, good evening. So guys, a question to you. So can somebody tell me what will be the output here if I give student occupation? Right, Akash says error. Anybody is having any other responses from Akash? Guys, quickly. Great. So meanwhile, guys are still processing it. Absolutely, this will give an error because occupation as a key is not part of my dictionary, right? So there is no key of such sort, right? So exactly, very well said, Akash. So this will give me an error because occupation as a key is not part of my dictionary. If I run it like this, I'll get an error, and the error is key error occupation. I do not have such key occupation, right? That's pretty simple. So the dictionary will not be able to process that. But what if now I have a student dictionary available? So, and occupation is missing. We know that occupation is missing. Can I add occupation on top of this? We can absolutely add occupation. So dictionary is very, very much mutable. Okay. So how can I add occupation on top of this existing student dictionary? I'll be doing like this. So I'll be defining student and the dictionary in the square brackets, and just by giving equal to as say engineer, right? I can do that. It's very as simple as that. Now if I print student, I'll get occupation as engineer. Can you see this? Now the same student dictionary is updated, right? I can modify the existing dictionary likewise. It's very simple. I can keep on appending as many such values I want to add. Okay, so this is pretty much fine. There's one odd scenario. Now what if I see that for example my age is 30, right? Okay, this is wrong. My age is not 30. The age is 25, for example, right? So age is 30. Age 30 is written as wrong age here, right? So how can I change this? How can I modify the content of age, right? So how can I change the value of age, right? Again, very simple, guys. So what can I do here? If I do it like this, key AGE as age, and then for this, if I give value as say 25, it's as simple as that. Bingo. Now if you print student here, Now I'll see the same age is modified, and guys, always remember, so we have already added occupation on top of this now. So my student is modified. So after occupation, I'm modifying my age. This is also very much possible. Now the existing age, which is 30, got replaced with 35. Okay, cool, simple. So इसमें से we can add anything, we can modify anything, and last में क्या बचता है? We can also delete anything. Okay, so we can also delete anything. That is also pretty much fine. So now, what if I want, say, occupation, for example, to be removed, right? So I want the occupation. Uh, 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 I don't want the occupation to be part of my dictionary anymore, right? So I want that to be removed. I don't want that to be existing anymore. So I can simply use the keyword del, delete. For delete is going to be del, and then I'm going to write student, and then the key which I don't want to be part of the dictionary anymore. If I run it like this, and now if I call student, that is again back to the original dictionary where the occupation key was not there. But meanwhile, guys, remember, age is now modified because we have already run this age, okay, and we have already modified this content of age. So now this cannot be rolled back because we have just deleted one specific key, right? We have not asked to roll back. So there's no such kind of rollback. We can always though modify the content. We can save a checkpoint for our purposes, but again, in this case, we can obviously modify the content based on the original value, which is still possible. I can still do student of ages 30, still fine. Okay, guys. These are some very basic concepts of dictionary. The reason I'm explaining you all this is because it becomes very important if you, kind of go for an interview and try to solve the questions in dictionary, right? And dictionary is one of the tricky data types which we have in Python. Okay, so guys, any questions? I'm still all ears. I'm monitoring my chat. Any questions? I'm repeating it again and again. Do not sit idle. It's not, I would say, some random course which you are running here. People are investing time, right? So it's up for your own benefit. If you're understanding it, just say yes, I'm able to understand. If you're not able to understand it, just say that, sir, please repeat. I'm more than happy to repeat. Okay. It's for your own benefit. Make sure that you learn something before, because even you are spending time here, right? So make sure to learn it and then go. Cool. Great. Thank you so much, Akash. Thank you so much for confirming that. So now, what next becomes important is now I have a dictionary in place of me, right? So I have the dictionary in front of me. Now, how to access the elements of dictionary, right? So as I've said, the one way is very simple. I can just simply write the key here, student, occupation, and then give me the elements from there. Still pretty much possible. But now, how to further go ahead and then see some functionalities available within the dictionary keyword. Okay. So now accessing the elements of a dictionary here, how can you do that? So in order to access the items of a dictionary, refer to its key name. Okay. So as I said, so we can obviously write the key name, key here, and then we can access the element ka naam. So like for example, if I write the student as age, I'll be getting the value there, which is 25. So I can refer the values directly by their keys. सर डिक्शनरी में इंडेक्स नहीं होता क्या? नहीं, इंडेक्स नहीं होता है इसमें, इंडेक्स की जगह पे कीज होता है. ये अनऑर्डर्ड कलेक्शन है ना, आई गिव यू द डेफिनेशन पहले भी. ये अनऑर्डर्ड है, एंड हियर इंस्टेड ऑफ इंडेक्सेस वी हैव द कीज. सो कीज आर बेसिकली माय सॉर्ट ऑफ वर्चुअल इंडेक्स हियर. ठीक है. कूल. चलो, अब क्या करना है, हम एक्सेसिंग में बता रहा था. ओके, सो नाउ हियर फर्स्ट वे में बता दिया. सेकंड इज key can be used inside the square brackets. I've already told you. There's also a method called as get. Okay, so get एक करके function भी हमारे पास. So dictionary का एक inbuilt keyword भी है get हमारे पास. So we can use the get function, which will also help us to access the elements from the dictionary. Okay, so like if you have the dictionary, they are already placed, right? So we can also use a get function to get the items from there. So we'll see how we're going to use the get also. Chalo, ठीक है. So I'm going to define a basic dictionary here. So what I've done is, so I have written the dictionary here. So I have one name and 3. So there are 3 keys here. The first key is 1, the second key is name, the third key is 3. Okay. सबसे पहला क्या है जो मैंने आपको बताया कि we can use the key के नाम से. So key के नाम से कैसे कर सकते हैं? So DICT. So हमारा first key क्या है? 1, right? So I have to specify the key here 1. अगर मैं 1 डालूंगा, then what I'll get? So I'll get the value as geeks. So did you notice? I did not write this 1 as quotes. I just gave 1, and this 1 is not indexed. So do not get confused, guys. 1 is not an index here, okay? 1 is a key here because here key is also 1, right? अगर मैं same 1 को suppose मैं quotes में डाल दूं, do you think I'll get anything? No, because the key error will be 1 here. I do not have any such key present which is a string 1 in my dictionary, right? That is the reason I'll get an error here. Likewise, if I give 0, so which is my, technically, if I use the indexing, that is going to be my 0. So this should be the first 0 kind of a thing, right? But this will again give me an error because again it will not find the key 0. It is not an index, so we cannot index it using the index ka number like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like an index. But yes, if 0 is available as a key, I can obviously do that, right? So it looks for a key, not for an index. Okay, I hope Utpal that clears the question. So here if I have to access the element, I have to define the key value, not the index of it. So I mean there's no index of such sort. So here if I give 1, I'll get the value geeks. Okay. Likewise, if I have to access for, I have to get what is the name for name, what is the value. So I have to write name here, full name. So NAME, which is the exact key here, right? So I'll be writing exactly. And this is a string here, guys. Remember, this is a string. If I do it like this, now I'll get the value for that, which is for. Okay, cool, simple. चलो ये तो मेरा फर्स्ट वे है, ठीक है. हमने क्या किया? एक्सेसिंग एलिमेंट्स बाय कीज, है ना, ये डायरेक्टली मैंने बताया. अब एक लास्ट मेथड क्या है मेरे पास? डिक्शनरी का गेट फंक्शन. सो गेट में क्या है? हियर व्हाट वी कैन डू इज वी कैन गेट द एलिमेंट ऑफ इट. सो अभी क्या है, अगर सपोज मेरे पास सेम ये DICT में डिफाइन करूंगा, है ना. अब देखो यहाँ पे, अब बाय यूजिंग द गेट फंक्शन ऑल्सो वी कैन स्पेसिफाई द की, किसका मेरे को वैल्यू चाहिए. तो 3 डाला मेरे को, मैं तो मेरे को अगेन इस geeks है. इफ आई वांट द नेम, आई कैन गिव NAME here, I'll get for. So instead of using a square bracket to get the values of my keys, I can also use the defined get function to get the values of my keys. Okay, so dot get is also something which can be used. Cool. इसमें एक दो एक्स्ट्रा चीजें हैं, मैं आपको क्विकली बता देता हूं. बट अगेन लेट्स ट्राई टू सॉल्व 1 or 2 क्वेश्चंस ऑन इंडेक्सिंग. ओके, सो आई थिंक वो थोड़ा सा क्लियर हो जाएगा सबको. ओके, सो आई विल गिव यू अ गुड क्वेश्चन. सो लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, okay, so I'm defining a dictionary here. So suppose, yeah, so maybe a person. Okay, a person as a dictionary. So I'm defining this as a dictionary. Okay, and I'm saying name as, say, ABC. Okay, and name is ABC, and then I'll say married. So yeah, so married, I'll say yes. I'll say cars. So cars, I'll say he has 2 cars. So he has BMW and he has a Merc. Okay, and then about pets. So in the pets, he has 2 pets, maybe a cat and a dog. So he has a cat, and the cat name is, say, Snowball. And then I have a dog, and the dog name is Fido. Okay, pretty much fine, guys. ठीक है. So what I've defined is, I am defining a dictionary person जिसका नाम है ABC, name is ABC, married status है yes, he has 2 cars, cars is given in a list, so he has 2 cars, BMW and a Merc, and he has pets, he has 2 pets, a cat and a dog, and a cat and a dog is defined under a dictionary because we are also defining the name of those cats. So pets, so the name of the cat is Snowball and the name of the dog is Fido. Right. So can somebody tell me, uh, if the question says, how do you find out how to find a person ABC is having how many cars? So I want to find out person ABC is having how many cars. Is the question clear to you? So I'm trying to find out, suppose the person ABC is, I want to count the number of cars the person ABC has. Okay, so I want to count the number of such cars. How can I do that? How can I find the number of, how can I count the number of cars such person ABC has? Anybody has any suggestions? Any suggestion? है ना? But again, I think it's too early to ask a question on this. Let me try to give you I'll solve this maybe one question, one small question, and then anyway we'll have an advanced dictionary session as well. So I'll go very deep in solving such questions. Okay, but let me tell you. So सबसे पहले what we have to do is we have to get the number of cars, right? So we have an identifier here, cars. So I have to somehow get like what all cars are there, right? So I have to get to the key car. So I have a key as a cars, right? So ultimately what I have to do is I have to count the number of elements present in this list. So this is my objective, this is my end objective, right? I have to count the number of elements present in such list. How can I do that? So first I have to get to this list. And how can I get to this list? By using the key cars, right? Simple is that. So if I do person, okay, I have to run this first. So क्या कर दिया मैंने? What is the problem? Oh my god. Sorry, my bad, my bad, my bad. What happened here? Why it is not taking it? Am I missing something? It says person, which is identifying it. This is fine. So I have my first element defined here. No, this is pretty simple. This should not be an issue. Let me check if I'm missing something. Okay, this should be fine. I'm using the same initial values. I have the one here. Okay, let me check. So where did it go? Where did it go? So okay, like this. So I don't know why this is giving me an error here. This is strange. Okay, I don't know why it was giving. Maybe some spacing issue or something. Anyway, okay. Cool. So, person, I have my dictionaries defined here, right? So I have my defined dictionary as all the elements. So ultimately, yeah. So I have Akash saying length of person of 3. Length of person of 3. 3 यार देखो issue हो जाएगी, मैं आपको बताता हूँ क्या है. So सबसे पहले देखते हैं person से will get into the car. So this is what I want, right? So I'll first do cars. This में किसी को पर्सन ऑफ 3 नहीं कर सकते. अगर आप पर्सन ऑफ 3 करोगे आपको एरर आ जाएगी. द रीजन इज एज आई हैव सेड there is no 3 of such sort, right? So 3 is not a key here, so I have to define cars, not 3. Okay, so it has to be 3. Okay, so now for cars, for the key cars, I have the list here. Okay, so which is BMW and Merc. So now this is a list. While now once I've given this key, the output is a list. So now on top of this I can actually have the computations performed on top of this, right? So this will behave as a list. So if I do it like so, now on this I can do the indexing. So I can do 0, for example. So I'll get BMW, because now this thing, this entire thing, if I check the type of it, right? For example, type of it, this is a list for me. Okay, this is a list. So on this list I can run the indexing. You know that, right? For example, 0. I can run the indexing. Likewise, I can also do 1. So I'll get Merc here, right? So this is a list for me. So now I can also do the counting of this. So what can I do? I can just simply do. अरे यार. right? Simple है. Length कर दूंगा, I'll get 2. So this is my number of cars. I can also print this. Print, if I have to say print, Mr. ABC has these 2 cars. So now in place of this, I can filter. So there's a very nice way of using is dynamically. So we can dynamically feed up the value to here by doing the calculation like this. So how can I do that? By using a format function. So I can just, after doing this, I can write a dot format. In that format, I can do a calculation of this. Just put it like this and we can print a sentence like this. So now Mr. ABC has 2 cars. So how can I do that? Just a quick addition to you guys. So what I've done, Mr. ABC has, so now this curly braces, so in the place of this curly braces, I want the value to be dynamically updated after the computation. So in this, what I've done, I've using the process dot format. In this dot format, I have done the same computation which I've done here, okay? And I've copied it here and I can print it as like a sentence. So this is what the code are generally being fine-tuned, right? So when you go, when you do any computation, right? So we generally print some statements and we see how we can just print it to the customer and all that. So that's how it does. It's being done. And likewise, if somebody asks you to tell me what is the name of, now another question. Quickly, let's do one more question. So the question is, what is the name of Mr. ABC's dog, right? What if I have to find this? What is the name of my of Mr. ABC's dog? Akash, do you want to try this? Utpal, Ali, anybody wants to try this? What is the name of Mr. ABC's dog? How can I get that? Again, simple guys. So person, सबसे पहले तो हम क्या करेंगे? Dog कहाँ है? Pets के अंदर है. Pets के अंदर which is a dictionary and again a dictionary, right? So let's do that. So first person है ना? Person क्या है? A dictionary है. So to get the dog, we have to first get this value, right? And for this, I have to access it through pets. So I have to define here pets. ठीक है? So now if I do this, if I check a type of it, this is going to be a dictionary again, right? Because it's a dictionary for me, right? It's a dictionary. Cool. So I cannot do an indexing here. For example, now if I have to choose dog, if I just write say 1, 0 and 1, I will get an error because it's a dictionary for me. I cannot index it, right? It's a dictionary for me. So for this, I have to say pets. And now on top of this, I have to add dog. So same way, multiple indexing, to do multiple indexing, I can use the same format I was doing in list, okay? I can add one more square bracket and that's gonna be my dog in this case. Now I'll get Fido, okay? Akash, थोड़ा सा squaring में आपका issue है. So person, pets, square bracket close, then another square bracket which is dog. It's not squared within a square, okay? Just a small syntax error for you, Akash. I hope that is clear to you. So one square bracket is for one key. Okay. So this is what my Fido is. Now again, I can print this as a sentence. So print, I'll say Mr. ABC's. Okay. So now again, can you see this? Once I write ABC's, right, I have to write it in a double quotes. You saw that, right? So ABC's dog's name is blah blah blah, and then I'm gonna write a format. I have to first close this. So I have to close this. Now format, and in this format I'll be just writing this part. Cool. Done. No problem, Akash. Perfectly fine. That's totally okay. I hope you got the issue now. Cool guys, clear है? ये कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आया डिक्शनरी का? यही बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट है यार, ठीक है? दिस इज द बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट of dictionary, and then once we have the session planned on advanced dictionary also. I'll give you some really good questions there, okay? So this is a very basic questions. I'll give you some really good questions, And because what I generally believe is like if I give you a theory, it does not really make sense unless and until you go on the ground and solve some questions, right? That's the way you clear your things in Python. So Python is all about practice, not a theory class. Okay. So the reason I'm spending some time on the basics is because I certainly believe it's the core thing for you to learn. Okay. And if you don't know this, the things ahead will become really trickier. You know? So we'll anyway we have cleared the basics now. So with this we are closing the data types. So we have done numeric, we have done sequential. In sequential we studied about strings, lists, and tuples. We did something on boolean stats, and then again we discussed about dictionaries, right? So we are done with the Python data types, guys. But now we'll be going deep one by one. So for now, tomorrow we'll be meeting at 10 a.m. Remember, guys, we are meeting at 10 a.m., not 10 p.m. Okay. So we'll be meeting at 10 a.m. tomorrow, only for tomorrow. So we'll be meeting at 10 a.m. and then we'll be talking about lists. Okay. So we'll be talking about lists there. So we'll be going a bit deep in lists. Cool. Great, guys. So see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. So only for tomorrow is going to be 10 a.m. So post that it's going to be the same time, 10 p.m. So there should not be any problem there. But please bear with me for tomorrow. Okay. Cool, guys. So see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. and then we're going to see some good questions. OPPS उत्पल मैं समझा नहीं. What do you mean by that? Complete video on OPPS. I did not get it. For Akash, could you please explain what data analysis, what exactly do they do? Okay, so data analysis, good question. So data analysis ही again simple है. अगर मैं देसी भाषा में समझाऊँ, so analysis of data है ना, simple है. Data analysis means analysis of data, right? So first of all, let's try to understand what is data. So data, anything. I mean, you know what is the data, right? So data, any information which you have. So then won't go with the definition and all. So like for example, it's a CSV file for you or an Excel file. That's a data for you generally. What we have here, like in a spreadsheet, right? Now on top of this data, we do all the analysis. We try to find out some interesting hidden patterns. So we try to correlate some variables there. We try to see the interaction effects. We try to plot some good nice graphs and how the graphs are changing with one variable and another. We try to find out some statistical inferences. So one variable is directly dependent on something else or indirectly dependent on something else. So if I change one variable A, variable B will be different, will be changing. So all of this number crunching work where I'm finding out the data trends. I'm trying to do the dirty job on data. Basically, that's what data analysis is, right? And there are a lot of things which we do in data analysis. So we're trying to cover the basics here. Everything is done in Python. Okay. But again, we'll be covering some of the interesting topics like we have some really good libraries, pandas, numpy. They are very good for data wrangling, data analysis. So we'll be covering those also in this playlist. Okay, I'll be going to that. Oops. Okay, sure. Oops, yeah. But this playlist is for I would say more towards data analysis. But again, I'll make a separate playlist for oops as well. So don't worry Utpal on that. So we're trying to focus on data science and data analysis. So in this playlist. Cool, guys. So thank you so much. See you tomorrow at 10 a.m. and then we'll be covering some really good topics there on lists. So we'll be talking about in detail in lists tomorrow. Okay. So we'll be doing some good questions. Great, guys. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.